Today is November the 30th, 2016. I'm Keith Ward, and welcome to another episode of Homeless in Titusville. And today I'm being joined by, what is your name, sir?
Peyton.
Peyton, and what is your name?
Junior.
And what is your name?
This Cullen.
And your name?
Catalina.
And your name, ma'am?
Mandy.
And your name, sir?
Christopher.
And your last name, Christopher?
Eichenlaub.
Eichenlaub.
Yes.
Okay, and can you spell that for me?
Eichenlaub.
Okay. All right. So, you guys, I found these guys. You guys are homeless.
Yeah.
Where are you guys living right now? What's the living situation? Are you guys in a tent, a camper, the woods?
We're in a tent in the woods, and it's varied locations. You know, we jump around, you know, where we feel safe at given the circumstance, you know, with all the kids and everything like that.
So you, the wife, and the 4 kids in the woods,
Yeah.
in the tent.
Yes, every night.
Wow. And what have you told the kids?
That we're going camping.
We're camping.
Yeah.
Camping.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
you're making the best out of a bad situation that you possibly can.
Trying to, but they're catching on.
Yeah. They're wanting fires and s'mores.
Yeah, I can't deliver.
Yeah.
Not being here.
So, do you work?
Yes, every day.
You do?
Yes.
And
Monday
what kind of
through
work do you do?
Vinyl siding
Really?
and soffit and fascia and stuff like that on houses. Yep.
And how do you get to work?
My dad gives me a ride.
So you have transportation to and from job, but only working with your dad?
Yes.
Jesus, okay. And how about you? Do you work?
No, I stay with the kids.
I'm assuming that the amount of money you'd have to make to be able to afford daycare has got to be astronomical to
And
make it
their
worth
father
it.
doesn't help either, so. 'Cause these 3. You know,
So 3 of them are,
from my ex-husband, yes.
and the little guy
This one is
here
ours, yeah.
is
Yep.
yours together. But he calls them his, and he says that he's responsible for them all. So that's a good guy. Stepdad. So I see little guy here is having a tough time. Maybe if mom wants to go ahead and take him off camera, and we'll continue the interview with you.
No problem.
Come here.
Take him, have fun.
So this has got to be really tough for you guys. Are you guys getting any kind of assistance from the state? You guys getting food stamps, welfare?
We do get food stamps, but they're not due to reload until the 7th. We have asked DCF and multiple organizations around our vicinity if there's any shelters or anything like that that would take us in. None. They're all full. Other organizations, there's, you know, to offer housing at a low income. There is a waiting list, a 3-4 month waiting list, depending on, you know, because we got all the kids. They say we need a 3-bedroom house, you know,
Right.
which I could fit them all into a one, you know.
I have heard that you know, people will say things. Gosh, I lost my train of thought. So many kids here. I'm just at a loss. You know, being able to get into a place, a shelter, they'll say that oftentimes they will separate the men, and then
Yes.
the women and children will go somewhere else, and that's kind of scary for the women.
It is.
And for the men.
And for the kids, you know, because they feel safe with, you know, me around, you know, and her being from out of state, she doesn't know nobody, no places, so the person she's sitting next to could very well be a very bad person without her knowing, you know?
And you're a lifelong Titusville area resident.
Brevard County, period, yes. Yeah. But Titusville, yes.
Yeah, so how many children are still in diapers?
Just him. We put pull-ups on her at night because she sometimes has accidents.
But that's still pretty much diapers. Those are costly. Those are expensive.
They are expensive. That's one thing I always tell her, man. They get you on the kids because they know the kids need certain things. You know, they know that baby needs diapers.
And you're not going to let them go without as a good parent.
And they're $25 a box of diapers. You know.
So how did you end up homeless? Where were you living before you became homeless?
We were living in Fort Pierce, Florida, out in St. Lucie County. And after the hurricane, our floor, like they were at school, our whole living room floor just caved in. And we had the accounting people come out, or whoever they were, you know, to do whatever they do, because we were renting. And they said, listen, it's not livable, you guys got to go. And so me being from this area, I was like, look, let's go back to my area and hopefully we'll get some help, because I got family out here, you know. I figured, you know, my family would be willing to help.
And has your family helped?
To an extent, yes. But also where I feel it would count, no, you know. I mean, they haven't offered us a place to stay.
But why? Why is that? Are there grudges? Are there family? I mean, what's going on? Is it logistics? They just don't have the room?
No, well, that would be in one case, yes. My dad lives with my grandma, which is his mom. There's no room there. My mom has 2 other kids with her husband, and they don't have room. But, you know, as far as taking, like, my youngest one, he was sick. They took him, you know, helped take him to the doctor's appointments, got him, you know, like antibiotics and stuff like that. And my grandparents took all the kids out, bought them Halloween costumes and a couple of pairs of clothes. But as far as a place to stay, they have not.
My Batman costume.
What?
You can go play
Yeah,
if
you
you'd
can
like
go
now.
play now,
While I
buddy.
talk to Dad.
But if
And you know what? Let me take this break right here to
Yeah.
reset the camera.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna show him my Bat's costume.
Okay, we'll whip it out, dog.
So they offered costumes and stuff like that. I mean, that seems like the
Yeah.
most least important possible thing that you could need
Exactly.
living in a tent in the woods.
Exactly, you know, and when I even said the situation was going to be like this, they didn't even offer me money to buy a tent, you know. You know, they were more concerned about, oh, well, the kids need costumes for Halloween. I'm like, dude, no, we need
Like, they don't have a home to take the candy back to.
exactly, you know, we need a tent. And they're like, oh, you got, you know, and then they would all try to point fingers at each other. Well, go ask your dad for help. I already did, Grandma. And my dad will go talk to your mom. I already did, Dad. You know, it's all. I'm sorry. It's all. I'm just sorry, but it's all. It's a circle, man, that I've been running. You know, and you know, like.
So your home became condemned, so it's really no fault of your own, and then financially you just don't have the money to rent somewhere else. And how much money are you making a month?
It varies. Well, thank you, baby girl. Thank you. I'll keep the flower, but my stuff, it varies from. I've never gotten below $200 paycheck, you know, but I'd say roughly a month. At least I'm at the lowest. I make $1,000 a month. But
And the most that you've made in a month?
I've only worked with my dad since I've been back from Fort Pierce, which is about 3 weeks now, so I haven't even worked a full month. But I mean,
so is the reason you're kind of where you're at right now, like why you don't go out and get a job that absolutely has some solid 40 hours a week, is it because of transportation as an issue?
Transportation and the fact that it's my family and he needs my help, you know. So I mean,
And he is paying you a good wage. You said he's paying you about $12, $13
Yes,
an hour.
yes.
And that would be great money if he was able to have 40 hours.
Yes, it would be lovely.
But yet he is giving you to and from transportation to work and all those kinds of things.
Yes, exactly. With no gas money required, nothing. He buys me lunch, you know. He has done, you know, more than any of my family members have, you know, because I mean, there's a long past behind that too. He really like abandoned me and my younger sister when we were younger, and I guess now that we're grown, he feels an obligation to want to help us, you know, now, you know. But that's where that is, where that stands actually.
Right. Wow. So I imagine it's got to be pretty tough deciding whether to buy diapers or food. And this is, I know things are really thin right now.
That it does, I mean.
How much money you guys have in your pocket right now, would you say, cash money?
$5 or less.
And how much is on your food stamps?
Less than $20. I don't know the exact amount.
And today is Wednesday, and you don't get more food stamps until the 7th.
For another 7 days. Yeah.
And what's going on with the children and the clothes? And you said one of the children is going to school because it's a school-age child?
Yeah, him and his older brother is actually going to school.
Okay, they're going to school.
Yes.
And how are you keeping them in clean clothes and showers to get them to school clean and healthy? And do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they really they haven't taken a shower or their clothes. They've wore those same clothes for 2 days now, which I got to go to where our clothes are at and pick them out, actually, but they're in uniform, so I got to worry about buying them uniforms, and they can only be in regular clothes for a week at their school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of pressures.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh wow, that's more stuff. I mean, me, you see me, I'm dirty from work. I can't even take a shower. Let alone the kids. So, like I said, I mean, a lot of things they eat at me all day, knowing that somewhere, I mean, somewhere it gets me that there's not enough help, especially
because you've reached out to churches.
I've reached out to everybody, dude. I mean, I was lucky enough to find one church, down the road from where we're at, and they offer, hey, I'll best I could do at this, because it was like 8-9 o'clock at night and we were on a bench, and I was like, look, dude, I see them cutting Christmas trees over there. I'm gonna go over there and talk to them, see if they're even with the church, because they were across the street from the church. Yeah. And he actually ended up paying for us a day at the hotel that we stayed at that day.
And you have a tent right now that somebody's letting you borrow.
Yeah, so at any time they can actually just take that back too, if they get mad at me.
Or reset the camera one more time. Yeah. So you were telling me a little story this morning, and a lot of homeless people have had interactions with the police department.
Yeah.
And what was that interaction with the police?
Hold on, buddy. The one time I had interactions, we were at a park. It was by a school,
yeah.
And we were sitting there the first day, and we had all of our stuff, like our baggage with our clothes and everything, which you don't see now because I have it in the woods. But this lady, and I know who did it, and it kind of agitated, because this lady had a little girl, and she was playing, we were all talking, having a good old time. Then the next day, we were like, okay, well, the park's fun, it's a safe area, so we'll go back there. Went back there, we didn't have the bags, like the clothes bags and stuff. An officer, I seen the same lady roll up in her car, but she didn't get out, and she instantly just left, and I didn't think nothing of it at the time. And then a cop, came and drove up, and was like, he looked at us and was like, I think I'm here for you guys. And I said, well, I didn't do nothing, man. He said, no, you didn't do nothing wrong. He was like, I just got reports of clothes falling off of my, of a baby, clothes in a big bag in a stroller, and things like that. And I was like, well, to be honest with you, I said, my son, my youngest one, he was in his Halloween costume, and I said it's a doctor's outfit, and they were falling off, but that was yesterday.
Yeah.
But he was in regular clothes, the day that the officer came, and he was like, well, I see nothing wrong with what y'all are doing, and he started asking questions about, hey, well, where are you staying at now? And, I kind of diverted the answer, because I didn't want, people to get involved, as far as, like
DCF
and things like that,
right.
Because
to lose the kids.
And lose the kid, exactly, over no fault of mine. So, I kind of diverted the question, and it happened to be, you know, one of the ones that I've met in my past because of an ex that I had. She used to have domestic disputes and stuff, and he was like, you know, man, he was like, I see you're doing good now, and I'm trying to, hide it. Like, yeah, I mean, because before I wasn't working or anything, and he'd always see me walking around, and and he's like, well, I'm glad to see you working, this and that, and he offered some kind of help, but it was out of his league. He's like, look, I can give you a list of phone numbers you can call, and I'm like, man, I've already called all these numbers, but.
Hey, can I have some Gatorade?
So what kind of skills can he get the Gatorade himself, maybe?
Yeah, he can do it.
You can go ahead and get some Gatorade, buddy.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He can get it.
So what kind of skills do you have if you did have to leave that job for better hours? What kind of skills do you have if somebody had a job for you? What kind of stuff can you do?
I can do a lot. I've done roofing. I've done flooring, tile, vinyl wood flooring, or laminate wood flooring. I've done sales, door to door. I've done call centers. I've done grocery stores. My first job was at Publix. I used to be a bagger. Things like that. I've done construction, any type of construction. I've done masonry work with my grandpa. I know how to run all types of big machinery at a construction site. I've done demolition. I did the demo out there on US 1. There's that power plant. Mm-hmm. I did the demo on it when the stacks went down. I was working for the company that tore it down. That pushed the button to blow it up and tear it down. Yeah, I'll get it.
He'll get it for you there, buddy.
But and so I mean, it's
so you do have skills. You do have work history.
Yes.
It's not orange.
It's not for lack of trying here. I mean,
no, not at
really
all.
trying.
I mean, a lot of places, they run background checks. By no means do I have, in my opinion, a horrible background. I've had some disputes with my ex with custody of my children, so
Right.
that's where certain charges will come up.
But you don't have any felony convictions and stuff like that.
I got one.
You do. You are a
Yes,
convicted
I
felon.
do got one felony charge, and that was my mother, and I can tell you the story behind that. My stepdad went out of town, and my mother came to me with a check wrote out from my stepdad and said, hey, he's out of town, and the kid, because I was living at home at the time, and she's like, the kid, your brother and sister, they need food. She was like, Mike said you can cash this check. Okay. So I went and cashed it, and I guess when he came back, he was like, where's my money, Chris? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, Mom has it, she bought food, but he never, they tried to get me for forgery and things like that, which they got like downgraded and adjudication withheld because I passed everything that they wanted me to do.
Right.
But I mean, and I drove without a license. I'm a habitual offender doing that, so that would be a felony charge. But but that was from when I was 17. I'm 27 now.
Yeah.
That was 10 years ago.
So those are things that happened when you were a kid, basically.
Yes, everything.
Right.
Everything.
So how do you see getting out of the situation? How do you see not being homeless anymore? Like, what do you think it's going to take? What do you think needs to happen? Like, are you able to save money living here on the street? Or are you hoping that maybe one of the viewers here will have some kind of, help or place? I mean, like, in your mind, how do you think this is going to play out?
In my mind, I mean, I could be a realistic person or I can be optimistic. In my mind, I know that with the situation we're in, being homeless, and now all these new things coming up with the uniforms and food and all these officials coming in because of the whole officers coming to my tent this morning, now I got to worry about where to stay. But to get out of this situation, I feel, because I can't afford it. I just need help with the upfront cost to get into the home. Deposit first and last month. I can even pay the first and last month. It's like the deposits.
You just
and
need some
things.
time.
Exactly, you know, because I mean, every day I can't save up if I'm having to. I got to go to McDonald's or order a $30 pizzas, and you know, because that spends quick, you know, and then on top of paying someone gas money to give me or the kids a ride to go to a doctor's appointment or things like that if my family is not available.
You take a break.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sorry.
You know, but as far as that, you know, like I said, to get out of this situation, realistically, I know that I need some help physically. I really do. I've done the best I can. Every cent that I've made since I've been working with my father has gone to a hotel room or any kind of other
Food, diapers, clothing.
food, diapers, clothes, and things like that. Because when we moved from Fort Pierce, I didn't have a vehicle, so we're going down US 1 in 2 strollers. You see the 2 strollers and what we can
Bags
carry
full
on
of
our
clothes,
backs,
yeah.
and that's it. You know, and so a lot of stuff gotta leave behind. You know, I had to leave beds, you know, everything, a whole house.
You know, you mentioned that, and we're going to have to end this video soon because
Yeah.
this is a long interview, but I do want to get another important question here to you.
Okay.
You said that recently there's been some contact through the school with with one of your children from DCF and stuff like that. Does that really scare you and your wife?
It does, and it does, but at the same time, I want to feel comfortable enough to where I know that they really can't take my kids as long as we at least have a tent.
Right.
I know that. But, you know, as far as, you know, like other accusations that they might come up with, you know,
Well,
hey,
that's what I'm talking about.
the kids aren't showered or their clothes aren't clean.
Right.
You know, that's, to me, I'm scared that they're going to try
Those
to
are the scary
think
things.
it's like child neglect, you know, and by no means do I neglect them at all, you know, and I do understand that kids need clean clothes and they do need the bath, but if I can't get the help, it seems like I can't catch a break, dude. The hurricane comes, my car gets towed. You know, when I did have a car, it got towed because the engine broke, so I sat it down in the parking lot and they towed it, you know.
Right, and by the time you pay the towing fees and the storage fees on it, it's just not worth it.
I'd pay one.
And on top of
Yeah.
fixing it would just be
Yeah.
an insurmountable amount of money. So.
Exactly, that I don't have.
Wow, listen. So, before we go, do you have any messages to any family, friends, people you haven't talked to in a while, or the viewers maybe? Do you have any messages for anybody? Is there anything you'd like people to know?
Too.
You know, as far as that, I would like to say thank you to my father, you know, up to this point, because without him, I wouldn't have any kind of income. I don't think he gets on YouTube, so he probably won't see it, but you never know, one of his friends or something. You know, I want to thank, you know, the organizations that have helped for the couple of days they did for putting us in a hotel, the Family Promise. You know, we're just in a waiting thing, and the viewers out there, I want, you know, a lot of it, I know you see people with signs and things like that, and form your own opinion, you know, and I have too in the past, you know, but some of us really do legitimately want and need help, and I would ask you guys to please, if it's me that you guys would, you know, like have an issue with helping, look past me and help those kids and my wife, okay? Because I can stay out here. It's my kids and my wife that need a roof or any kind of help that's given, period. So I'll be willing to, you know, step down, and as long as they're getting help. That's what I want to say, actually. you know. So we can end it right. That's all I
Well,
gotta
listen,
say. To you
I
guys.
appreciate you taking a few
Yeah.
minutes and letting us get to know you.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say to the viewers too, listen, you guys can contact me. You guys can leave me messages on YouTube. You can contact me on Facebook at KEITHWOHR. I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. I promise I will. This family's really hurting. They need help. These are our fellow human beings, our fellow citizens. Imagine if you were in this situation. Christmas is coming up. You know, we want to get these kids out of the woods and you know, and into a real home. And I'd also like to say that today this family was fed by the good people at Mr. Submarine and Salad in Titusville, Florida, and I'd really like to thank them and thank you very much for supporting what I do in my videos and helping the people who appear, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Okay, Guy, go ahead and show us your Pokemon.
Okay, everybody, I'm gonna show you my Pokemon cards. They're in my
You play Yu-Gi-Oh!
too.
Oh my
I
God!
gotta change it. But after
Do you know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes.
Because I know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I've played Yu-Gi-Oh! for 10 years.
I hate Yu-Gi-Oh.
And I was a judge, and I have tons of cards. Tons of them. Thousands of cards.
Can you tell me your car?
Huh?
Can you tell me your car?
No, not in my car. At home, I have tons of Yu-Gi-Oh! cards.
My Pokemon cards.
All these cards here. Oh, man. Oh, yes, I am a big Yu-Gi-Oh! fan. Love Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, hold on, Kevin.
I have cards from the Lost Millennium, starter decks.
No one wants to see what I have in mine.
Hold on. Give me
No one wants to see my shirt. I don't want to show my shirt, or else they'll know what school we're at.
Right, we don't want to do
I
that.
don't think you want tomato.
Anyway,
You could try it. Go ahead.
why is it facing that way? Okay, I want to
Because
show you.
Sandwich.
it's getting us. Yeah, so let's see what you got there.
I got a Japanese ponytail, some energies, a Nidorina,
You guys want to eat?
Cool.
some energy,
Why? It's turkey. You like
a
turkey?
Japanese ponytail,
Well, that's dinner.
and we have some more energies,
Right?
I don't have the money to go to McDonald's, dude.
Right?
a
Listen, take.
Jigglypuff,
Then look,
a ponytail again.